Union. So union means so combines the result set of two or more SQL statements. So am I sharing the screen? Okay. Yeah, combines the result set of two or more select statements. Okay, that means so we have one select statement here, so which brings IT records, and we have one more select statement which brings HR records. And then I can also have another select statement as well. Okay, I can have another select statement which brings marketing department. MKT. So which brings so like this. So we have a union, and this is bringing IT, and this is query bringing HR department records, and this is marketing. So yesterday we was I asked one question. So at this point, so how can I bring complete three records in a single statement? So that using department in HR, IT, comma marketing, right? So like simply writing this query. So that is, just relating the topics again. So I can write in, open the brackets and write IT, comma HR, comma, yeah, that's it. So just close. So this also brings the same thing. Okay. So this is also brings the same thing, but you might be wondering why you need union. Okay. But sometimes what happens, you might have to do a lot of, queries and then finally get these things. Okay. Maybe this select query is similar to this one. Okay, similar, right? Just IT is changed and HR is changed, but you might have complex query where you have to get employee name and employee ID. That's it. But here, if you could see, there might be a lot of complex query in order to get that output. And also sometimes you might be also having different tables as well. Right now we have employees table. That's why it's possible with in. But you might be having different table. Right now we have employees, but you might be having employees for this first query, and here maybe employees one kind of table, some different table. So likewise you might be having. So this would there is other thing, union all. So union all means, so I'll just take this and just write it here, and I'll just write union all. So since it is not case sensitive, I am just writing in capital letters and small letters, no issues with that. So union will remove the distinct, duplicate records. Union removes duplicate records. So here, what is duplicate? So let's suppose this employee name is there and employee ID is there. Okay. However, employee ID is a primary key. You won't find duplicates for sure. Okay. So we will not find, but in case if we have, let's tackle that. Union will just remove the duplicates. So employee name, we have employee name Vinay. Let's suppose this he's from IT and his employee ID is one. Okay. And again we have Vinay and he's from IT, and again his employee ID is one. Definitely there won't be employee ID one. Okay, but let's suppose if we have like this, so this will be counted as single record. In case if you use union, okay, you will get only one record. Even if he's from IT, even he's from HR, one guy is from IT, one guy is from HR, so it doesn't care. So it just removes duplicate records based on the employee name and employee ID. Whatever we are selecting, based on that, it will remove. When coming to union, it won't remove. That means if we have two Vinays from same department, or same with the Vinay comma one as employee ID, you will be having those two records. So now for let me write in a way, instead of writing it as Vinay and employee ID, let me write this is employee name comma department. So there might be duplicates, right? There might be same person named with in same department. So if it is MKT, and then it is, so you might have Vinay's in same department, right? So maybe then now I will just write it as department. So then it would be good. Okay. Now I'll take this one. Okay, so you can see now here, we in the morning I have, I had a session with some other batch. So there you can see I was explaining the full outer join, so which is related to joins. You can see union, right? How complex the query is. This query returns the same thing. Okay, this query returns some data, and this query also returns some data, but both are different operations. But whatever columns we are getting, so those are in a proper sequence, like how we are getting this. So both should be in a proper sequence. So so this is how, you know sometimes you can't use this simple in things, okay, because we have different select query syntaxes. So yeah, this is all about this union. So now if we talk about simple union, so I'm just running this. So where you have almost 16 records we got. So if you could see, we have 16 records. None of these are duplicates. Everything is not unique. So everything is unique. You can't find a name which is repeated. So the you don't maybe the database, the data might be like that, okay, but I have wantedly added some record with Rajesh Sharma as twice. He's from IT department, okay, but that record is not available because we are using union. So that's why it got removed. So if I just replace this union with union all, so if I replace union with union all, just remember we got 16 records and Rajesh Sharma is one, okay, but if I just write this, so we are getting 17 records. If I scroll, see this, so maybe we should get two Rajesh Sharmas, which who are from IT. So this IT, we have a Rajesh Sharmas twice. Okay. So with union, we have removed the duplicate automatically. But when we used union all, this duplicate record also, it's displayed. So just remember the definition. Union will combine the two select queries, rows, I mean the result set, and union all will also do the same, but only difference is union will remove the duplicates, union all will not remove the duplicates. That is the difference between union and union all. So anyone has any doubts still here? Union versus union all. Union will remove the duplicates, union all will not remove the duplicates. If you could see this, I mean I have executed this. Rajesh Sharma, Rajesh Sharma, IT. So both, here duplicate means employee name and department. Okay. So based on that two values, whether it's a duplicate or not. So Rajesh Sharma, comma IT. So this kind of record do we have anywhere? So this is the one. Now if I add something called employee ID, so that won't be a duplicate value because employee ID will be unique for each. So that means completely that will be unique, right? So that's how a duplicate you'll be finding in database related stuff. So whatever you are selecting, so that is a duplicate thing. So any doubts here?
Sorry, Vinay, like on what occasions we use this union and union all?
Hmm. So on what occasions in the sense, like definitely this is used in like ETL only, like build whenever you are building Spark scripts or PySpark scripts or SQL scripts, and there will be requirement. You have to extract data from different tables. So at that time, you definitely use union or union all anything. Okay, if you know that we might get duplicates. Okay, so you might get duplicates, and you don't want to miss out the duplicate records. So at that time, you use union all. Okay, but your requirement is that you need to remove the duplicates. I mean no need of getting that records two times. So then you might use union, that's it. So specifically no, okay, I mean particular things that is based on requirement, that's it. So see, once you enter into the project, you will get to know what table contains which kind of data. Okay, so based on that, so that is more of project specific. So your lead might be telling that, so you might get duplicate data, just handle it. Okay, just handle it and make it distinct. So at that time you will make it union. If he says you have to also have data uh, which is duplicate, so then you will use union all. So that depends on the table and the data, but just knowing the concept is enough. But okay, when we will be using and all, that is more of related to project specific.
Okay, Vinay.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone, I hope everyone is clear related to this union and union all. So just remember, union will remove duplicates, union all will not remove duplicates. And then we have limit. So limit nothing but, so basically we have select star from employees. So what does this do? It will just return all the records whatever in the employees table. So let's suppose you have 1 million records in employees table. So let's say you are a, this database is of TCS employees. So generally TCS has 8 lakhs or 7 lakhs employees, right? So if you're simply entering select star from employees, so right now in our database we have only like 4 or 5 columns, right? Actual real time database will be having lot of columns. Not only employees table, in real projects you will be having a table that might have 100 columns likewise. Okay, and you might be having 1 million rows records like that. Right now I'm entering, so it's giving 29 records because we have only 29 records. So what if we have 1 million records? So if I enter like this, it keeps on running. Okay, it keeps on running because 1 million records is not a less data. So it keeps on running. I mean, the query gets processing running, right? So that's why. So if you're not, if you have a big database and then if you are simply selecting the data without any limit, so that means you are creating some disturbance to the people, who are trying to access the database because your query itself is running on a database. So that means your database is getting busy, right? You are not, 1 million records might, it might take 15 to 20 minutes to completely show up the result here. So what you will be doing, you will simply use at the end of, you can use whatever you want, where and everything here, okay? But at the end, whenever you are, limiting, you have to write limit at the end and limit 10. So this brings you 10 records, only 10 records. So if you write limit 1, that give you random one record. Okay, this we are getting this because this is the record which we have inserted at the first, so that's why based on the sequence we are getting. If I enter limit 5, so you will get limit 5, first 5, I mean the 5 records. So likewise, so this is just for
What if we
this is
want to
limits.
get Vinay?
Yeah.
What if we want to get the last records?
hmm, there is nothing specific like that. So getting the
Okay.
last records, no. See, like generally in your projects what you will be doing, so you will be having, let's suppose 1 million records. You will not be, if you wanted to look at the data, you will not even visualize 1 million records, right? So just in order to look at the data, you just give 10 or 15 or 10 and just visualize the data how it is, how the table is. I think maybe -1. I don't think so. There might be some syntax to get last one, but I'm not sure. Generally, we use this kind of syntax just 10 like that. This records, even I can't even say that these records are inserted, since this is MySQL workbench. So whatever I assume that whatever we have inserted at the start, that we are getting that. That's it. But in case of other databases or Spark or some other databases, some other frameworks, uh, simply it gives random records. Okay, random means random 10. So it doesn't even follow the process of get why, I mean random 10. That's it. So I just based on the in records, I just told you that it might be, since we have 1, 2, 3 this sequence, I am just thinking that this is the order of inserting. the records when we have
So
inserted.
it won't give in the sequence way, but randomly
Yeah,
it gives.
yes, randomly it gives.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
So I mean, I didn't even try checking that. Let's see. It randomly gives. I mean, limit in SQL. Okay, it's talking about some other thing. Yeah, basically it gives random only. So no, I mean, that's it. Just limit is used just for limiting the records. Rather, if you just simply do this, if it is 1 million, it should still scroll. Okay, still keeps
No,
on changing. Okay.
when you are searching in the Google Chrome, it was shown that random limit.
Oh, that is some other topic actually. So some other
No,
topic in sense.
yeah, because
Okay, this one.
they have
Okay,
selected random, so I think that's the reason it is showing
I
random.
so maybe so this doesn't work in SQL. So that is some other
No, products,
database.
that is products, right?
Oh, products table. Okay, but
Yeah,
still,
table name should be changed.
random doesn't work. Order by random is not, order by random. So it's not, there is no random kind of thing in SQL. That is something not related to, maybe this is some database, different database, I guess. So order by random, I didn't even see till now. No, I don't think so. This exists in MySQL and even see if we could see here. So somewhere it says, I think we have rand instead of random. We might have rand in MySQL, I guess. Hmm. So first thing, so whenever you are just executing this select star from employees, it gives whatever how you have inserted. So if I look at this, so this is how I have inserted. Okay, I mean the sequence of insertion is in this way. So then I'm just using order by and rand. So that means it randomly shows the data. So this is some randomly shows the data. Now if I again do it, it might be different. Again if I do, it might be different. So at that moment, if I write limit 10, that means it will give the first 10. But for limit, we don't have exact, random kind of thing. So now, let's suppose if I execute this way, so it is giving some random number, random, order by rand. So and again we have limit. So again it will give you random because this is not the operation of limit. It is just operation of order by class rand. Okay. So we are not giving any column value or anything. Just simply, randomly we are just iterating the rows. So limit is something just for limit. That's it. So this random is making sure that these things are sorted in random order. Okay, got it right now. So it's not the responsibility of limit to give the values randomly. It just gives values whatever comes from here. It just limit it, just limiting the values. In case if you have 1,000 records, if you are writing it as limit 100, it will give just 100 records, the first 500 records. So this random is something it's related to order by. So order by of rand will just order the things in a random way. Okay, are you clear, Priyanka?
Yes, Vinay.
Okay, and then indexes. So indexes are something. So right now you might not experience, what indexing is in our database because we have less data. Okay, in case so indexing is nothing but so we have gone through primary key, right? So primary key. So primary key means it is indexed. Indexed means so generally so in I will just query in this way employees where employee ID. Okay, employed equals to 1. Okay, which is a primary key. So if it is a primary key, so we got this record, okay, in 0 seconds, maybe some milliseconds. So this we are having 29 records. We are not experiencing that much fastness. I mean, sorry, that much slowness. But if I have department equal to IT, so if you have department equals to IT, so it might take some more time because why means so employee ID we have created while creating the table, it is a primary key. Okay, so if it is a primary key, that means we already have index on that. So index means so generally index means this indexes are helpful to increase the performance. So so this index whenever you're doing executing this, so since this employee is a primary key, so it has already been indexed in the database so that table already knows that. So since it is an indexed key, people usually query use filter based on the index key. So that's why I'll just make it faster, like make this faster means whenever you're executing this it would be faster. And this is a simple department column, so that's why it would be slower. So it would be slower. So right now you might not experience because we have only 29 records. So in case if we have 1 million records or that that many records, you'll be able to experience that things. So now you want you have a database and table, and now what happened, your manager or somebody came to you and asked. So the client is trying to always filter the table based on department. Let's make this as a indexed column. Okay, so that they might not experience the slowness. Okay, so the our manager already knew the client is trying to extract the data always using department as a filter. So now our plan is to make this as a indexed column so that it improves the performance of the database. I mean speedness. So now you can create an index. So improve the speed of operation in a database table. So now create index. This is the syntax. IDX department. This is something name, whatever you want, you can provide it on employees. And in that, this is the column department. Okay. So this is how you create an index. So already I have created an, this one for the previous class, I guess. So maybe it might throw an error already exist. Okay, so duplicate key name. So if in case you want, I can drop index and I'll just write it. So this might not just syntax, proper syntax, drop index name. Oh, alter. Okay, you have to drop it on table. In MySQL, you have to drop it on table. Simply in another databases, you can just simply drop index, draw index name. But when coming to MySQL, we have this should be you have to do with table. So let me write alter table employees. Okay, now the index is deleted. So now again, I'll just create this index. So this is created. And then so that's it. Just try to remember indexes are used to improve the speed of operation in a database. So you can just tell a scenario. If somebody asks what are indexes, you can just tell a scenario. Let's suppose we have a employees table, and in that you have employee ID, which is already primary key. That means that is already been insert, indexed. Since it is a primary key, you don't need to mention it explicitly. But when coming to, let's suppose the client is trying to access, always query this data, this table based on the department, since we have department as a categorical column. So the if somebody is trying to always trying to use filter on a department, so why can't we we can make a department as an indexed key so that the performance will be improved. Let's suppose whatever, if you write department equals to IT, we might get 5,000, like 5 lakh record. So in 10 seconds, maybe after indexing, it might make it 5 seconds. So likewise, you can make it, you can tell the answer. Okay. So this is what indexing is. So any doubts in indexing? Okay. So I assume you don't have any doubts in indexing. And then so we will go with the date functions. So date functions and time functions. So basically in MySQL or any other databases, you will be having lot of functions. So what you have to do, so you just need to go through my W3 schools and go at the end. You will find functions. Also, that means if I tell goes on telling functions, I don't think so. It will be enough. It will at least take 20 hours for SQL itself. So what you have to do, these are self-explanatory. So self-explanatory, you can just simply simply explore the things in the MySQL. So just string functions. In string functions, don't go through ASCII. So this is not so useful. Okay. This char length, simply character length. So char length means character length. So if you go and just check this, so you can just simply click on this and try it yourself and run the SQL. So what it is saying, 12. So the characters. So that's it. So likewise, you are not giving from table anything. Simply it will give you the syntax just for explaining. They have given like this. But in indexing, what you do, we will just try to pass this a column, right? So in real time. So this is just char length is will just find the length of the string. So char length. So you can again check this. Oh, it seems like there is some connection. Okay. So again, same both represent same, I guess, char length and character length. So both are same actually. So it's so same. So this work in databases. So in the same way, concat you have. So just it's one SQL is one string, and tutorial is one string, and this and this. So now what we are doing, we are just concatenating. So adding up the things. So we have given SQL space and tutorial space. Likewise, if you write this, so we will have SQL tutorial is fun. So in the same way, you can pass one column here. Here since strings here, we just give double quotes, right? So but if we had to write column names, you can write like that. So you can write that as well.
Like facing some disturbance.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we were speaking on W3 school related function stuff. So actually you have to go through W3 schools, and maybe it will take like 1 hour or 1.5 hour. Just go through all of this. So I'll teach few things, and I'll also tell you what are important. Okay, don't go through all of this. There might be almost 100, okay, 100 to 1500, some like sorry, 100 to 150. So I don't want to go through all of this. You just go through what are important. Okay, ASCA is not important. This is also not important. But just remember, based on the name itself, you'll be able to understand what is char length. So char length, just calculate the length of the character. So character length both represents same. Concat means you already know what is concat. Just basically adding up the things, right? So concat is skill tutorial is fun. So this means just concatenating. In the same way, how you have this SQL format, you can just add the column name. So let's suppose we might have a table. So let's suppose we might have a employees table with employee, which is employee. Okay, first name, comma last name, comma salary. So the real world scenario. So now you wanted to get full name. Okay, so how you'll write select concat of first name, comma full name. Sorry, last name, right? Last name as full name from employees table. So this is the use case really how you do is this way. But here in W3 school, how they teach is like, always they can't maintain the things in the database, right? This teach you in this way. But however, you can change, you can add this as a column. There you'll be getting it as a value from the database. Okay, so this is, if you could see this SQL tutorial is fun. So in the same way, so you can just add your column names here, here, here. Just how many you want, you can add those. Okay, in the same way, we have concat doubles. So concat doubles means you will have a separator at the start, separator, whatever it is, you will have a separator at the start, and each element. Okay, this element, let's say these are each column name. This between, sorry, a hyphen in the between of each. Likewise, registers. So in case if I write concat doubles here, okay, the first argument is a like what you want. So now how the data will be written. So first name, comma last name. So like this, your data will be written as a full name. So like Vinay, comma Suram. So this is the full name, right? So likewise, concat doubles will help us. So in the same way, if you go to yeah, just I'll just wrap it up. I mean, just related to functions, you just go through W3 schools. String functions, you can go through char length, concat doubles. So this one, just ignore this. Field in set format insert also, just ignore those. So instr, so this will be
Vinay,
in position. Yeah.
sometimes your voice is not clear.
Okay. Is it same for everyone?
Yeah, I think so.
You
Someone
can.
has.
Okay, seems like I have bad internet. Let me check. Okay, in right now, if it is not clear, please inform me. Maybe I have good internet, but still. Okay. So okay. So is it clear right now?
Now it is okay, but after you start, we'll let you know.
Okay, Lakesh. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then yeah. What I was telling. So just I will try to find few functions. So all are not necessary. So I'll put it in the chat or somewhere in the drive. So just go through that function alone. Okay, so now we have abs, a sign at, and this kind of things in w3 schools, but these all are not required. Okay, so I'll just put all the things in a notepad, and I'll just give you. Okay, just try to explore this in the notepad, w3 schools. You no need to worry, and you no need to get these things from your MySQL workbench. You can just click on try it yourself. Okay, and whatever you want, you can change it and then run the SQL. So you can, this is how you learn functions, rather getting all the things from here and pasting in MySQL. You have, MySQL has their own database. We can just simply work on this as well. Okay, you can't insert the data, but you can just do some SQL kind of queries. So I'll just try to give these things, or the important functions in a notepad plus plus file. So just go through those alone. Okay, rather going with all of these things, degrees and all. So these things not required. So even if it is required at the work, so you can just google it and do it. But basic things, you can just you just need to learn, that's it. Okay, and then we will be going through this thing. Okay. So we have date functions. So basically, if you go to W3 schools, so you have date functions here as well. So add date, add time. So current date. That means that brings today's date. Okay, current time. So that brings today's date along with time as well. So current timestamp, that will bring today's date, today's time, and also seconds and milliseconds precision as well. So if you simply enter this, so if I write current timestamp, so if you could see, it's giving milliseconds precision as well. So that is what current timestamp is. When you talk about current time alone, so that would bring you just time itself, till time. Okay, only time, sorry. And if I write current date, so that would bring you date itself. So these are few date functions. So even just try to remember, even if you don't remember at work, you can Google it. So if you know the scenario, you just need to know that, in order to crack the interview, you just need to know many things. Okay, but at work, so if you know the concept that, okay, there is something like current date or current time. Okay, that
Right.
syntax you might not be able to remember, but you can get it from Google. Okay.
Sorry, Vinay. When you run the current timestamp, why it is not showing your time zone and it is showing our time?
Generally, it's UTC, I guess. So maybe UTC. It's UTC, I guess. Let me. So data. It's not my time zone. It's database related stuff. So maybe this database is hosted somewhere in India or something like that. So that's why. The current timestamp.
No,
Let's check here. So this is, this database is hosted somewhere in, UK, I guess. So that's why.
yeah.
So it's not, it's, this is my SQL one. So that's why it will show you as date. So it's
Okay.
not, sorry, it's W3 schools one. It's not our database. So that's why. So most of the time, this follows, GMT or UTC. So not exactly, EST, this kind of times. It follows UTC
Okay.
or GMT. Is it
Okay.
UTC and GMT are same? I think both are same, I guess. Yeah, okay, I think both are same. So generally we have UTC for databases. So maybe that is the same as GMT as well, I guess. Hmm. So you can see date diff. So date diff means, let's suppose we have a date of birth column. Okay. So we have date of birth column, and you can do this way. So today's date, you can just write current date here. So if you just enter this, it will give you 10 days difference, because we had 10 days, right? So if you write, a date of birth here, and if you pass date of birth column in this place, and then you will write current date here, right? So generally this will give you number of days related stuff, number of day difference. So then you can divide it by, again you can simply divide it by 365. So that might give you data age as well. So likewise also it is possible to get. So again, so in the same way we have date diff, date add, so that means date addition of the date, and we also have date format. So generally date format is nothing but just converting the date whatever you want in a different format. So now this is actually database accepted format. Okay, this is database accepted format. Giving hyphens in between is a database accepted format. And what I want this to be in a this format. So we just extracted only 2017 because we have written like this. So I wanted to write it in slash format and wanted to give slash, sorry, a percentile m. So that means this gives month as well. So likewise, and I want double score, double slashes. Then I'll give sorry, percentile d. So you can see whatever format I am just formatting here. So that way it is written in the output. Okay, so if I want this to be a single hyphen here, so it will provide you in that way. So whatever this is a database format. Okay, this is the proper format. Okay, so like how we have here, that is a format of date in database. So date will be, date in database will be this format, but whatever you are writing it here, that is the one which it will be showing to us. That is what date format does. Okay, so you can go through this formatting a date. Okay, here if you could say date is a date format field, and then format is something which is giving the format that we require. So you can simply go through this. I mean, not required to go through all of this, but simply go through how we represent y is a capital letter and m is a lowercase and d is lowercase. So you can't write m as capital letter here. So this might give you some different one. Oh, it's giving Zoom. So likewise, you can just search. You can just go through this quickly. So even just they might ask you in interview. So I wanted to have this in a specific format. So you can just tell that I can use date format. So that's it. Okay, so in the same way, we have subtract as well. So go through this. So just subtracting 10 days from the date. So likewise, you have this date, just subtracting, you use interval 10 day. So that means 10 days will be, subtracted and you will be giving 2017 hyphen 006 hyphen 10. So likewise, so day of the month, all these things more, you can self explore on these things. So just spend some like 1 or 1.5 hour and go through all of this. So not all of this, I'll send you one list of a few things to go, so rather going into all of this. Okay, few things we already done, like if null, is null, these things we have already done. When we have done coalesce, right? At the time, these things are also covered. So that means, coalesce is, same as is null or if null. So, so we have done those things. We have also done case statement as well, right? So we have done case when statement as well. So few things we have done, but I'll however, write it in a notepad and then share it to you. Okay, so functions related, so you have to take care, and we will be I'll just create some questions on the functions and discuss at the end of the SQL course. So that at that time you should be able to answer, um, since we will be learning from here. So I'll just frame few questions so that you have to answer those questions in by using these functions. So which function to use when, so likewise. And then, so functions are done. So if we have any other functions, yeah, if you could see concat, we already spent some time on concatenation. And then if we have length, so length is nothing but just finds the length of a string. So there we had char length. So here we have length. So both represent same. I mean, both shows the same thing. So it's like alias. Okay. So maybe char length might not work in MySQL. So that's another story. So I mean, basically, some things will not work in some databases. So few functions will not work in some databases. So if you could see, I'll just get this. This might or might not work. In that case, you have to use length, direct length. Okay, this is available in MySQL as well. So no problem. Even if I write simple length, so that would be also okay. See, okay. So length is okay, character length is okay. So this both represent same. So again, so we have a replace. So replace is something, it will just replace the values with some other value. So let's suppose, select, replace. So if I write this one, okay, and I will write replace, space with hyphen or hyphen in a quotes. As I'll just write this. So you can see space is replaced with hyphen. So assume, this I'm writing it right now hard coded, but I can just simply replace with employee name. Okay, so the column names. And now I can write employees and simply enter. Let's see if we have any spaces in between. You can see Amit space Kumar was there. So I just replace that space with hyphen. So you can see a lot of things here. So if it finds space, so it will just replace. Since Praveen is a single name we have, so it won't replace with spaces. Okay, are you clear regarding this string functions, concat, length, and replace? So if you have to go with other functions as well. And if you could see round, floor, and seal, so these are nothing but just mathematical functions. So generally rounding of the things. So rounding of the things means so number places. So basically rounding a number to a specific number of places. So I'll just take this one. Okay, right now we have no decimal places, right? So I'll make it as one decimal place. So now it is 5.0. So I'll make this as 2, then it means 5.0. So if you go to here, you'll find another examples. So that comes under mathematical functions. So if you could see 355, 37.5. So now we have this. So what it is doing? So it is rounding off. So we are saying we just need only two decimal places precision. So that means 37 is there. We have written 38. So likewise, 3.8. Yeah. So likewise, it would be this round will work in this way. So and then so floor. So just remember the floor. Okay, floor means down, right? Seal means roof, right? That is which is up. So floor means which is rounds a number down to the nearest integer. So it will just down. That means since floor is if you talk about the real life scenarios, floor means which is down, right? So that means down, which is available down. So that means you are just downing to the lowering to the nearest integer. Seal means roof, so which is present up. So that means you are rounding the number to the up. Okay, so I'll just show you from the W3 school salon. So it is 25.75. It should be 26. Okay. So let's see what if we have 4.3. Even then it's 26. Okay. So it's just upgrading to the nearest integer value. So if we talk about floor, so it will be 25. Okay. It doesn't care what the values here. It will be 25. So this is what floor is. So in the same way, you have few more things. So you can just quickly go through these things. So okay, not required. I'll just share all these things what all required. And this is done. So completely we have done these things. We have left with triggers. So we will talk about that in the next session. And then so we have done union, case statement, and also collace also we have done last time. And we have also done, yeah, cast and convert we'll be doing in the later session. This is just converting some values as a date. And so these things just casting the data types. So as we already spoke about the data types in the in the starting class itself, varchar, integer. So these all things. So in the same way, so we have date types as well, right? So data type date. So which means you have date format. So date kind of data type also there. So that we'll just try to change it in the next class, like casting that, converting that. So we also discussed what is substring. So first three characters. So this is the one value that we pass. Here we have passed employee name, and one is nothing but the first character, first position, and this is the length of the characters. So likewise, this is what it is. Stored procedures, we'll be going through this now. And then we also done with views. So create view, this one we have done. So any all we'll be going this in separate session because it's bit sometimes hard to understand. So distinct we have done, and order by we have done, and then this all we have done, alias and having, this all we have done. So do you have any questions in this? So we can discuss, otherwise we can go through the next topic called stored procedures. Okay, I assume you don't have any doubts till here. So let's get
Sorry, Vinay.
into,
Like a,
yeah.
so like a, what is the use of view? Like you explained in last class.
Okay.
Can I just briefly explain that?
Okay. So view means, so basically we have this view, right? Where is the view? Okay, what we are doing here, view, we are just creating a view. Create view IT employees. I select star from employees where department equals to IT. You have just created it, okay? And now you will call me, okay? I'm your colleague, and you will call me and tell me. So if you wanted to get IT employees, IT employees, just refer this view. So rather writing this big code, just refer this view. So what I will be doing, I'll just write select star from IT employees. That's it. So now you might feel this is very easy syntax. What we are doing, select star from employees where department equals to IT. But this might be a very big query in real life. In real time projects, you might have this code in 100 lines of code. Complete this page. You might be having to, a code, a complex query, which might be 100 lines. So at that time, what if instead of you created, if you have created a view called IT employees, and this query is having, this query, just don't think about this query. Just think that if this query is 100 lines of code, so whenever I want to get this IT employees, I have to write 100 lines of code and execute that, right? But with the help of the view, if you have created a view and told it to your colleague that you can just query the things simply just getting from the view which I created just recently, which is IT employees, just get the things from the view. So then I will be able to get this using select star from IT employees. That's it. So that is the benefit of a view. It is not a database. It doesn't store the data physically. So it is just a virtual table based on the select query. So based on the select query, it just creates a virtual table. It doesn't even hold the data. So whenever I'm running the select star from IT employees, in the backend, it runs this code. It runs this code. Okay, if you want, You can check in the Google how views are important. Okay, a view contains rows and columns just like a real table. Okay, the fields in a view are one or more real tables in the database. Okay, you can add SQL statements and function to a view, present the data as if data coming from one single table. So that means, so right, as I said, right now we have simple query. Let's suppose if you have multiple tables and you have joining conditions, union queries, so a lot of complex query. And then if you have created a view, then you will experience the benefit of view, because right now it is simple employees department equals to IT. But in real time, you might have a query which is very big, like 100 lines, where you will get the data from employees and then you join with some other tables, you join with some other tables, and you union with some other data. So likewise, so at that time, okay, I will create the view for once and I'll use it whenever I required. You will be thinking like that. So these views are used more of in visualization as well. So once you get into the data analyst Power BI related stuff, so views are used more there as well, because for analyzing the data, so you will do some aggregations rather doing it on Power BI. So in the database side itself, sometimes you create some views, and then you create some aggregations, and aggregations means group by max min, this kind of things. Sometimes you create it in the database itself, and then you will try to get that query that view and create a dashboard. So that is also possible. I mean, there also you'll be using view. Okay, did you get it, Sandeep? Someone asked, I forgot the name.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, and then um, so next thing. So still anyone has any doubts? Okay, and then if we go to subqueries, okay, we'll go to subqueries. Okay, subquery or Teams question, not this. Subqueries. Okay, subqueries are nothing but, so basically you will be having two or more select statements. Okay, same like union, but it's not union. So in union also we had select queries, two or more, right? But here subqueries are something. So we have two types of subqueries. One is non-correlated subquery and one is correlated subquery, right? So non-correlated subquery means, so generally name. So if you look at the name non-correlated, so that means not related to each other. So not related to each other means, so if you could see line number 14 and 16, so now what it is doing in the inner query, the line number 16, in the inner query, we have select average amount from the orders, right? This is the inner query, okay, because that is within the brackets. So outer query means this is the outer query. Okay, this is the outer query and this is the inner query. So if you could see inner query, so will that inner query runs without the help of outer query? So I mean, can I take this piece of code and can I run it in the database? Will it work? Select average amount from orders. Uh, will it work?
think
Select average amount from orders. If you have orders table, will it work? Will it? It will work, right?
yes.
So basically, it will give the average amount. So average amount from the orders table. So I'm just taking this, running this. Select average amount from orders. So I'm not doing group by, not doing anything. Just simply average means what average means. So basically, if you have 10 records and if you have sum of the amount is 200 divided by 10, so which means the average is 20. So this is what average is, right? So how much average you got? That means, total sum of the marks divided by number of subjects, right? So that is the average, right? In the same way, our orders table has some data. So if you could see orders table, select star from orders. So this is the orders table. And then we have order ID, order date. So you can see order date format. As I said previously, actual date formats in the database would look like this: 2023-08-15, which is like same like how my system has the data, date format. So, and again, amount is this one and the customer ID. So what it does, average amount means sum of the amounts, sum of all this amount divided by 17. That is the average. So if you could see here, average amount from the orders, that is 2332 dot something like points. So now the average is 200, 2300 something. So now what I am doing, so this is now understood, right? Which this can be run independently. Okay, you can run this inner query independently. So if you could see the definition of the non-correlated subquery, a non-correlated subquery is independent of the outer query. Okay, that means this one, and it can run on its own and is executed once the main query. So this outside, it's a main query, and this is the inner query, or yeah, inner query. And in this example, subquery calculates the average. No, this is the subquery, basically subquery we call, or inner query. So the subquery calculates the average order amount. Okay, this is calculating order amount, which is an average, and the outer query use this value to filter the orders. So this one, what was value 2332, right? 32. So this value is calculated once, okay, and added it here in the background. This query would be this way. So this query should be 2332 dot something 32. Let's remove the remove all the things, points. Okay, after points, let's make it 32. So this should bring, what this should bring, this is a simple select order ID, order date, amount, customer ID from orders where amount greater than this. So that means you should get order related stuff whose order amount is greater than 2300, right? So now what happens, so this thing is called non-correlated subquery. So this is called non-correlated subquery. So if you don't know the subquery concept, what you would have been done. So basically, if I ask you, like maybe you don't know the subquery concept, right? So what you will be doing, first you will select average. Okay. First you will try to get the average average amount, right? So if you don't know the subquery concept, and if subquery concept doesn't exist, what you will do, you will just first try to get this average amount. Okay, now I have got average amount. So which is this? Okay, I'll just copy this. So I'm talking when we don't have subquery. So this is what I got. And now I will just try to get this query, and I'll just give greater than symbol. And since I got this value from the previous query, I'll just write it here and then click this. So now I got the orders whose orders are greater than 2332, which is average amount of the orders. So this is how I get it if there is no subquery. So if you know that there is some kind of concept called subqueries concept, okay, so then what you will be doing, the same query, the same query that you have done. So you'll write it here, open and close the bracket, simply write avg of amount and close from orders So likewise, you will write it this way and you will not give the hard coded values how I have given previously. So this would return the same thing and that would return the same thing. You can see the 8 rows in the previous and now also 8 rows. So this is what subquery is, non-correlated subquery is. So are you guys clear with this? So any doubts here? So because subqueries you will be using more often in real-time projects. Guys, any doubts here? How can I go through the next one, correlated subquery?
It's clear for me.
Yes, Sandeep,
It's okay for me.
it's okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, how about Lokesh, Priyanka and Satya? Are you clear?
Clear, Vinay.
Yeah, Vinay.
Yeah, Vinay.
Okay. So then yeah, I'm going with the next one, correlated subquery. So if you could see here, okay, if you could see here, so the question, okay, not related to correlated subquery. The previous one, I'm just talking about the question. So how that question will be framed. List orders, okay, where the amount is greater than the average of all order amounts. Okay, so that is a question. So generally, if you are in an interview, they will be asking you the question this way: list the number, list the orders where amount is greater than the average amount of all orders. Okay, so that question they might be asking. So at that time, you have to frame the query like this. Okay, so now, so this is done. So when we talk about correlated subquery, so in a correlated subquery, the inner query is related to outer query. So now previously what I have done, I just took this piece of information, select statement, I ran it. So it worked, right? Even if I just take this is a simple query where it will give you records. Sorry, the name average amount. So it worked, okay, because it's not depending on the other outer query. But if you could see here, so in this correlated subquery, in a correlated subquery, the inner query is related to the outer query. So now in the same way, I'll just take this inner query and copy this. I paste it here and run this. It shouldn't work. Okay, there is some error saying c dot customer id in where class. So if you could see c dot customer id, so that is coming from outer query. So that means this inner query is dependent on the outer query. Okay, so as the name itself says, now correlated subquery. So as the explanation itself says, in a correlated subquery, the inner query is related to the outer query. It uses a value from outer query and is executed once for each row processed by the outer query. So that we'll talk about this later. But you can see till here we are okay, right? So in a correlated subquery, the inner query is related to the outer query. So since how we can say it's related, we tried to take this piece of statement and executed, but it threw error. So that means it is getting the value from the outer query. So it uses a value from the outer query. So which value it is using? C dot customer ID. It is using from the outer query, right? So now when we talk about exist, okay, exist, just remember, just we will talk about that exist in later session. But right now, just feel that exist means exist. That's it. So exist means if this returns some records, any record, some records, it is true. Exist will return true. That means the condition satisfies. If this returns any record, so that condition gets satisfied. So that is the meaning of exist. So exist, we will talk about that when we will be talking on in any exist. There is one concept. So we'll be talking about that in later session. But exist means as of now, just remember exist means exist. If this particular inner query returns some record, then that means exist condition is true. Okay. So now and is exited once for each row processed by the outer query. So here, like let's suppose this customers has 10 records. So this thing, this iteration and this execution will happen 10 times. Since it is correlated subquery, each customer id is, you know uh, each customer id is iterated and tried checking for condition, because we are getting customer id from the outer query. But in case here in the inner query, non-correlated subquery, we will just calculate this this, it the database will calculate this at once, and then take that 2232 and assign it under the hood, and then just it will be showing the result. So this means we calculate, this calculates this query, how it does. It will take this information and calculate that, and then that information will be assigned like this in, in the inside. Okay, inside means internally. So this is executed in a fast paced manner, right? But here we need some iterations. Iteration means for each customer it has to check whether it exists or not. For other customer it has to check. Let's suppose customers table have 20 records, again it has to go to 20 times. So that is what. So now if I explain the query, so what it says, we are trying to get customer id, customer name, and then from customers table, and where exist. Okay, so where if it satisfies the condition for each row, okay, for each customer id, then that record will be printed. So now where exist, select order id. So it can be order id, it can be anything, nothing to do with order id. Okay, so because we are not using order id anywhere, just simply we just wanted to check whether if this condition gets satisfied, whether it is returning data or not. So that is what we wanted to check, that's it. So even in the place of order ID, we can write one, no problem. So it just checks for existence. Okay. So if this condition gets satisfied, it just checks for an existence of the record. That's it. So c dot customer ID, o dot customer ID, and o dot amount which is greater than 2000. So that means this question should be in a way that list customers who placed at least one order with an amount greater than 2000. Okay. So what I am saying, so list the customers with customer name and ID who have placed more than 2000, at least one order. So it can, one order they should place at least, it should be 2000 rupees, more than 2000 rupees. So that is what it does. So I'll just share this. Sorry, I'll just run this. So you can see this all people placed on orders greater than 2000. So if you could see C dot, so how this gets filtered, I mean, how the data gets filtered is, so we have customers table with customers data. Okay. So if we have customers table, select star from customers table. So first of all, whenever you are writing a query, you should know clear data, what table holds which data. So if you have customer ID with customer name, customer ID, and customer name with customer names and email, this how, right? So we have 14 records, right? Completely 14 records. And this same customer IDs, we have select star from orders. So if you could say order ID, order date, amount, customer ID. So these customers belong to customers table. So whatever customer ID we have, that belongs to customers table. Okay. So now few customers we have null values. Okay. So null value because, so if you talk about the e-commerce applications, okay, let's suppose if you go to some website, let's suppose if it is a Lenovo website and you wanted to order a laptop. Okay. without signing itself you can place an order in some website. Okay, not all websites, but without signing into that website, you can just join as a guest user, and then you can join, you can sign in as a guest user, and then you can place an order. So at that time there won't be customer id, right? So there won't be customer id. So likewise, just uh, I have placed some inserted some records without customer id. So that is what my intention was. So this is also one scenario I have, I'll be having one scenario when I talk about joins. So that's why this orders table few records are without customer id, which is null. Okay, so assume this as guest user who will be joining as a who will be placing an order without signing into the uh, website. So okay, so that is different story. And so this one, so we have customer id, customer name that is coming from customers table, and where exist. So this would just if this condition gets satisfied, one gets printed or anything, even one, two, or order ID, anything is fine. But I just returned one because so now right now we have simple records, very less records. But in case if you have more number of records, and if you're trying to write this order ID here and executing this, so there is no need of writing order ID actually, because you are not consuming this order ID in the order ID anywhere while selecting. Just it is just to check the existence of the record, that's it. So that's why. So o dot customer id equals to c dot customer id, so which means if this customer id is matching with this customer id and the amount is greater than 2000, then you will get the output. So now if you could see this person customer id with a 3 Rahul Kumar, if you go to this orders table, if you go to this orders table 3, okay. So this guy placed an order which is greater than 2000, right? Because it's 2700. So which is greater than 2000. This guy placed an order. Likewise, again, one more time he placed an order 3000. So likewise, it shows the data. So we have validated the data as well with the customer ID 3, whether that is greater than 2000 or not. So yeah, this is all about non-correlated subquery. So this thing same can be solved with join as well. Okay, join as well, we can solve this thing, the above thing, this thing with the join as well. But once we get into the joins, I'll talk about this during that time. So right now you don't even touch it. I'll just share these things. So I'll just share these things right away, so you can practice from your side. And also you can go through this from the W3 schools as well. Again, if you wanted to go through this, just click on subqueries. So maybe this is not there, I guess. Okay, seems like this concept is not included here somewhere. Hmm. So you can go with the Google as well, the definition and all. But however, whatever I have given, that is sufficient enough. So nothing, nothing explains more than this. So this is, how internally works and what is the definition, and also example I've given. Okay, I'll just share this thing in the drive. To until that time, if you have any doubts, you can just uh, ask me. I'm just sharing this meanwhile. So this is subquery I'm sharing, and then I'm also sending you insertions as well. So customers and orders insertion as well. So I also shared this joins with customers orders and tables. So but don't go with the joins. So if you could see here, so we have table creation. Just make use of this. Just create the table, create the orders table, and populate some data. Okay, just populate some data. That's it. Don't go through joins. So once you populate or once you create these tables and insert the data, so that is fair enough. And next go to the subqueries. So go to the subqueries and just go through the definitions and try, try doing the things in a different ways. Just go to chat gpt. Okay, first you go to chat gpt and provide the things. I have a table like this. Just provide it to ChatGPT. I have a table like this. So how you have to, you just have to um, what we call make use of ChatGPT in a different way. Just go to this, place it. Okay, just write create some questions on dealing with okay. So likewise, if you type it, so it will frame some questions. So let's write answers as well. So what it says, basic subquery retrieves the names of a customers who have placed an orders. Okay, what you will do, you will just find the customers table, and in that you will just find how you'll be writing. I didn't see the answer. Let's frame this. Okay, so let's frame this question and answer. Okay, retrieve the names of the customers who have placed an order. So just who have placed an orders means we have to get the customer name, right? So customer name from customers table, where customer id in. Okay, I'll write in because I'll get many things. Okay, many customers from orders table, customer id from orders. So I can use distinct because maybe many people might be placing the orders. So this might be the answer. Okay, so I'm just getting the customer IDs from the orders table, and I'm placing this in a single, as a subquery, and then getting this customers using in is something which will accept multiple, multiple elements. So now customer IDs will get multiple, right? Multiple customer IDs because so many people ordered it. And then I will use in because I'll get multiple things here. And then customer ID and the where condition and the customers table. You are just trying to get customer name. So this should be the answer. So let's check the answer once. So you can see select customer name, customers, where customer ID in. So this is the answer. So basically, so you have to do this in the same way. So just give the whatever tables you are considering, just give it to ChatGPT, and based on create some questions on dealing with subqueries concept based on the two tables above. So you can see. So this is how you can get help from ChatGPT in practicing the things. Rather you will be googling and all. So definitely you might have to visit a lot of websites, but ChatGPT helps you in a better way. So in the same way, so correlated subquery. So that concept, okay. For each customer, find total amount they have spent on orders. So if you go to this, so this is something correlated subquery. So correlated, why we are talking it as correlated? Because if I run this inner query, it won't work independently. So that is what correlated subquery is. Okay. So do you have any guys still here, guys? Do you guys have any questions still here?
Like, I need to follow the recording again. Maybe tomorrow I will ask the doubts if I have any.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm stopping till here. So it's almost 1.5 hour session. So you can go through the recording again. But yeah, what the strategy we followed, using ChatGPT. So you can do that so that, you'll be able to practice more in case if you go with this. Okay, rather, going through different websites. So I would suggest you going through ChatGPT. Okay, are you guys aligned with me? So only one thing is hard, that is like correlated subquery is hard, I guess. So that one, so that one you have to do some practice. But yeah, that is also easy if you practice. But I feel only correlated subquery is hard in my uh, early days of my career as well. I felt correlated subquery is hard, but okay. So if you practice, so you'll get it. Okay, guys. Then, if you don't have any doubts, we can wrap up the session for today, and I'll share the uploading. I will just upload the video in the documents where we are sharing the shared point.
So when I trying to run the code by myself, uh, I'm feeling how can I remember the logic to build the query? Like, what's the easy way to?
It's practice, something. Just you need to practice. I mean, just you need to practice. Like where queries, selecting the things. Like which one you felt difficult. So basically, simple things, right? Like how to get data from, employees' names and employees from department called IT. So these things, I think it's now piece of cake for you guys,
Mhm.
right? Like if I ask you, can you get employees related data like employee name, employee ID, who is from IT department? You'll get it right now. Just simply select star from employees where department equals to IT. I think that is that kind of basic things you are clear right now.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yes, Vinay.
Yeah, those are clear, right? So likewise, if you goes on practicing, then you will increase. I mean, that will be okay. But right as I say, so these things are, you have to focus more on SQL. Okay, Python, this all things you will get it, however, because you just need to, in as a data engineer or as a data analyst, you just need to know how to create a function, how to wrap this SQL code in a python file. That's it. But SQL code is, SQL code is something where you have to think logically and write the scripts, complex scripts. So yeah, spend more time on this. In future when we go to Python, so you might not, you might even not need to think logically. So here only you have to think more of logically how to, uh, how to transform, extract the, transform the data and write logics. So as I said, just use ChatGPT in that way. So if like it will create some question. So based on that question, you write in your notepad plus plus, okay, and then try to ask answer to the ChatGPT. So it might give you one answer. Ask that in a different way. Okay, can you give this answer in another way? So it will give it. I mean, it will provide so that you will understand. Okay, this can be possible with this thing. Okay, already we have discussed. You can get the data using in operator as well as or operator, right? So let's suppose select star from employees where department in, okay, open and close the bracket IT comma HR. So this would also bring In a single statement, this would also bring IT employees, HR employees. Okay. And using union also, it would bring first select query for just getting IT employees, second select query for just HR employees. You will use union over there. Okay. In other way, you will also use or operator, like select star from employees where department equals to IT or department equals to HR. So this is other way. So these are three types of ways of getting IT and HR employees, right? So likewise, as on practicing, so you'll be able to do. So just by listening, classes, you will get just knowledge. But if you practice, you will be able to um, get the things. So, uh, yeah, that's it. I can say, Sandeep. Only practice.
Yeah, Vinay.
Yeah. So how about other guys like Priyanka and Satya? Are you clear till here? So I just uploaded those things.
Yeah, Vinay, okay. If we get any doubts, we will ask in the tomorrow's session.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Priyanka. So yes, guys, then we can wrap up the session. So tomorrow we can connect.
Okay, Vinay.
Okay, Vinay,
Yeah.
can we postpone class for tomorrow class because like if all the guys are okay, can we make it another day? Because today actually you said a lot of topics, right?
Yeah, yeah. Then okay, fine. So you
So other
can have
people
a class.
if they
Yeah.
agree, actually if they agree.
Yeah, you can ping in the group and just yeah, then we will follow that. Yeah. Okay, Sandeep. Just we can do it in the group. So when
Yeah.
you just ping in the group. So once everyone agrees, we can have the class on Friday.
Okay, Vinay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Vinay.